What is up, everybody? Welcome in to the Bat Flip, where we discuss everything baseballs. I'm Landon and Raby. With me, VFL, Zander Sechrist. Z, how we doing?
Yep, doing good. Tough weekend. Not a lot of SEC opponents can say that they got walked off 3 straight times, but it's just one of those deals, I guess. But boy, does it suck to be a part of one of those deals.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a Tennessee fan or just because I just pay, obviously, more attention to Tennessee. I just feel like we lose in some crazy ways as a fan. Like baseball, basketball, football, whatever. I mean, we lose into some crazy ways. But yeah, that is one that it's probably happened before, but not Tennessee, but it's probably happened in college baseball, but I don't recall it ever
I mean, it's
happening.
probably had to be a while ago, probably 10 plus years, because it's so rare to even have 2 walk-offs in a weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just rough weekend all over the place, batting, bullpen, everything. We kind of switched it up a little bit going into the series with Brandon Arvidsson starting on Friday night, Tegan Kuhn's falling up. I thought both those guys pitched good enough to win. Yeah, your bullpen just didn't get it done in those first 2, or basically every game. But the bats weren't good enough on Friday and Saturday to get you a lead. Sunday they were, and it just wasn't enough. And now you're sitting here 3-6 in SEC play. Like, it's time to you got to put your foot on the gas because it's not getting any easier from here. And hey, if this team wants to go to the postseason, they got to win some ball games.
Yeah, you definitely got to win some games to get even close to your regional, let alone SEC wins, because everybody gets in the SEC tournament now, so you can make a run in that to state your case. But you definitely don't want to be behind the 8 ball per se. But I'm not hitting. I mean, there's a lot of people speculating should you hit the panic button right now? I don't really know because we were 5-10 and 23, and we somehow turned it around. But I did text you this weekend our turnaround that year was the sweep of Vandy. And Vandy was struggling coming in to this series. Now, I know this isn't a Vandy show, but it'll be interesting to see what Vandy does after they swept us, because 3 years ago in 23, we swept them. That turned our year around. Now does it turn to them like they swept us? Does it turn their year around? But obviously this isn't a Vandy show. We did unfortunately get swept, but we're not halfway through yet, so we're okay. But we definitely have to win at least one this weekend. At least one, preferably Friday. So let's just get the win out of the way. But you're starting to get to a point where you got to win the series as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels like, and I know we said this at Missouri, it just feels like a must win, especially after what happened last week. LSU coming in here, I mean, both these 2 teams have underachieved so far this season. Now, could it be a turnaround series? Maybe. That would be maybe it wasn't Vanderbilt to get us going. Maybe it was LSU. So that's what we're clinging on to hope, and hopefully that's the case. But yeah, Tennessee needs to win a series, and you need to win those all you can at home, because I mean, what you have left, you have Ole Miss, you have Texas, you have Mississippi State next week at Mississippi State. So a lot of tough series remaining. So anyone that you can get and still you need to go get those. And I don't know. I don't know really what to think of LSU. I don't really know what to think about Tennessee. I thought that this team was just bad at hitting, and then you see Sunday, and it kind of all came together. And Blaine Brown hit well. You had Henry Ford do his thing. Those kind of guys in the Meteor lineup really showed out, and I thought Garrett Wright did well, and I mean pretty much everybody. Trent Grinlinger is another guy that just continues to hit and get on base and make the most of his opportunities. So I don't know. I really don't know what to think, but the bullpen has been an issue. We talked about it a little bit before the show. For you as a pitcher, I mean, if you're Braden Krenzel, that's tough. You've had a tough go of things. How do you kind of get some confidence back and kind of turn that around?
It just takes one. It literally
Mhm.
just takes one clean inning for him to get his confidence back. It's not like right now he's in that domino effect of everything just kind of falling the way it shouldn't. So he's
Yeah.
kind of in that domino effect right now. But once he gets a clean inning, from now, I know he can do it. But from now, you'll see his confidence come back a little bit. But it literally all takes one. I know the bullpen's struggling, but I don't think anyone, you know, I don't think anyone in the bullpen realizes what their roles are just yet. And I know that's kind of bold to say, but we're not halfway through the SEC series as yet. But it seems like everybody in the bullpen is kind of question mark whether they go into a certain situation or not. Now, it is a little bit different because we had two Saturday, Sunday go extra innings. So it's a little bit different there, but I don't think anyone in the bullpen knows their role just yet. And once they find that out is when everything will start clicking, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Need to get some guys going. I feel like right now, like your arms right now that you feel confident in. You feel confident in what you have in Brandon Arvidsson. I know he's going back to the bullpen this weekend. Um, Cameron Appenzeller, Bo Rudy has looked really good in SEC play. Other than that, like, I mean, Brady Frederick's going to pitch, but he hasn't looked fantastic on the weekends. Obviously, Krenzel has struggled. Mark Hindy hasn't looked great when he's got his opportunities on the weekends. Um, I don't know. There's just not like I feel like you had a lot in your bullpen. I thought you got a good appearance from Nick Abraham. I'd like to see him more. Maybe he's an arm that you can rely on late in games, but those higher leverage situations, there's just not a ton of guys that have a ton of confidence, or like the staff has a ton of confidence in right now because what you've done in the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and I think another thing is too, we do a lot of piggyback situations, especially on Friday and Saturday. We do a lot of piggyback there with Teagan and Arvidsson, and then you have Mack and Appenzeller. I kind of want to see like Brady Frederick, him pitch at least 2 out of 3 days, and maybe on Friday a bridge guy, like he can be a bridge to Arvidsson, or on Saturday a bridge to Appenzeller. So I don't like throwing him in like a clean scenario. I think he's a guy that yes he can do a clean inning, but I think he's a guy that performs probably better, like with a guy a first and second one out, get you a ground ball double play as that bridge guy to the next pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand bridge. It basically means a short reliever that's gonna get you to the next guy. You saw it a lot with Kirby, for example, Redmond sometimes, and Camden Sewell at times as well. So that's what I mean by bridge. But I'm not saying those type S guys. I'm just using them as an example. But I would like to see Frederick more in a bridge scenario or a closer scenario, because right now I don't know if they've completely figured out the bullpen yet, and I don't know who's making the decision on who pitches next, because it could be E, it could be Reynolds, it could be anyone. It's going to be one of those two, but I have no idea who makes the decision. But it comes back to the thing of once the bullpen guys know their role, they're much more comfortable, and their routine leading up to their appearance is much better. So finding a routine and finding a role for each bullpen guy will let them calm their nerves a little bit and let them do their thing while getting ready to go in to any type of scenario, because they know their role.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting, especially with starting pitching. Like you have Tegan Coons in a perfect scenario, you go Tegan Coons for let's say 7 innings, and then you only have to go Arvidsson 2, so you could technically have him available for Sunday if you wanted, if you could use him at that point. It's just when the starters like they look like they're cruising, and then about the 5th inning, everything seems to start spiraling. Or you have one guy like Evan Blanco, I think was it 2 weekends ago, or at Georgia, where he was cruising, and then all of a sudden in that 7th inning, it just he doesn't have it anymore. And I know it was raining and stuff like that, but it just seems like they hit a wall almost. And I feel like as a I mean, I don't know this from my perspective, but as a fan, just kind of watching it, like you're seeing a guy cruise, you're like, okay, like I'm going to go in. You kind of have that mindset. I'm going to go in probably around the 7th inning because he's pitching really well right now, and then everything is rushed. Like you got to get them warm, you got to get them ready, and then they're thrown out there in the 5th inning instead of what they thought would probably be the 7th. I don't know. Just does that make sense? Where it kind of all feels out of whack at some points on the weekends?
The bullpen 100% is out of whack. It never goes perfectly to plan. I mean, you rarely see everything kind of go to plan.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, once people, because you could tell that no one really knows their role yet. They just kind of get loose and kind of just go about their way. And I'm not calling anyone out by any means. I'm a fan now, so I have to, I got my right to an own opinion, but I've also experienced what's been going on. And when we got to the bullpen, we kind of knew our role, but right now I feel like I'm, repeating myself, but again, it's like a big deal because knowing your role in the bullpen is huge because now, let's say, for your example, the starter's cruising, the 5th inning is where most of the score, like the middle of the game, like 4th through 7th is where most of the scoring of the game is going to be because, the starter's going through the lineup for the 3rd time, unless he's perfect and it's the 2nd time. But anyway, it's still like more likely the 3rd time in the lineup. And the bullpen guys are starting to get ready at that point. But it seems like when the starters go out there, they hit like you said, like a wall, and then all of a sudden they can't get it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything's kind of rushed. Maybe that could be like a communication, like they are told one thing, and then it turns out to be another. So that's why I say you could put Frederick as that guy that's like an emergency guy and a bridge guy, because then he knows like 5th inning, if the starter was cruising, all right, let's move around a little bit. If one guy or 2 guys get on before he records 2 outs, then we start to play catch a little bit, and then a 3rd guy, then we start getting hot. So, and then obviously you can use a visit to help them get warm and stuff. So, like I said, the bullpen's just always a question mark because you never know, because the guy could be throwing super good in the bullpen and then get out in the game and he's just terrible.
Yeah.
So you just never know. And like I said, I don't think their roles have been communicated to this point very well, but I want them to find out what their roles are. But obviously I can't do anything about that.
Yeah. And like you said, it just takes one. Like hopefully these guys can get some confidence back. But yeah, right now it just feels like a rough go, especially for a guy like Braden Krenzel, who just has been on the wrong end. Like, I don't think he's just pitched terribly. Probably some that he would like back, but it's nothing that's just been. It's not like he's walking a ton of guys and then giving up a big hit like that. Like he's just getting hit. And I mean, he's one of your best bullpen arms. That's why he has 20 strikeouts coming out of the pen. Like he has been really good. Just these last couple games, just hasn't had it. And then you have the switch up this week with Teagan's back in the starting lineup or starting rotation on Saturday. Landon Mack moves up to Friday. I mean, are they just giving maybe another day's rest for Teagan because he was out of the bullpen, or is Mack your new Friday guy if he pitches well? Because I thought it worked pretty well last week, and now we got the switch up again. So I don't know. What was your thoughts on the news when that came out today?
Last Friday, it went to plan. You had Arvidsson, Teagan, as we both predicted. Like Teagan was going to pitch,
sure, yeah,
on Friday. We just didn't know how long, but obviously it was a piggyback scenario. So they both pitched, and I thought it worked very well. I'm just a little, not necessarily confused. I'm just curious in which direction they're trying to go, because moving Kuhn's back a day doesn't really make any sense, because you could have done this the week before. Mm-hmm. So it's a little different. When it came out today, I thought they were going with the same rotation, but then seeing Mac jump to Friday, maybe I don't know. I mean, it could be an extra day of rest, but at the same time, it's not an extra day of rest for Mac. So maybe Mac won't go. Maybe he'll go 5 innings, and then you bring in Arvidsson. So I have no idea. It's kind of curious at this point because you're getting into the heart of SEC playing where we're still fiddling with the rotation.
Yeah.
Luckily, there have been no injuries for us to change the rotation or anything, of that matter, like sickness and stuff to change the rotation. So it's interesting in a way. And like, I know you're asking me from a pitcher's perspective, but honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you're asking a guy who was TBD all year. So but I knew I was going to throw.
Was that just a joke? Were they just doing that just to do it at that point?
I don't know. I wish I could ask V, but he's too busy in the big leagues now. But
yeah, he's just
I think it was just because most of the time that they wouldn't name a Sunday starter, like the other teams wouldn't name a Sunday starter because Arkansas is notorious for naming their Friday guy and then going TBD. So I think by rule you can't do that, but they do it anyway. But there's some series like if the opponent gives all 3, I was on there. But if not, I normally wasn't on there. But I knew I was.
Yeah, TBD. I like that. All right, let's switch. I don't know what you do with this. Maybe it's something that they are just, hey, we're not winning games this way. Let's change something up, see if that works. And I'm cool with that. We'll see how it works out this weekend. If it works, then roll with it. I mean, next week, if it doesn't work this week, maybe next week, Evan Blanco gets the Friday night shot, and we'll see what happens. I do think it is interesting to have, your really good bullpen arms are going to be Brandon Arvidsson, Bo Rudy, and Cameron Appenzeller. Brandon Arvidsson going to throw a ton. On the weekend, they're going to be kind of your long relievers. And I think that's a good thing. Like Tennessee does have kind of 5 true starters. So like it makes it probably easier to kind of fiddle with your bullpen because you have those guys that you can rely on and that are pitching well right now. I mean, you can kind of like place everybody else in. But I mean, one thing about this team in general, like they just got to finish. And I know part of that is your bullpen. Part of it's just like, hey, like let's score more runs. If the bullpen's not getting it done, hey, the bat's got to get going a little bit. We got to score more runs.
Is 15 not enough for you?
Well, it wasn't the 2 days before that.
Yeah, but
15 should definitely be enough, 100%.
Well, Coach A said 5. Coach A said 5.
Well, yeah,
as a pitcher, if you give up 4 less, you've done your job. Like as a staff, if you go into a 9-inning ball game and you give up, 4 or less, you've done your job.
Right.
So normally the magic number is 5. If you can get to 5, you should have a good chance to win. But I mean, 15 should definitely be enough. They
just got to find ways to win, whatever it is. Like they just got to find ways
more. Because we got it. I'm talking about hitting runs, bunt. I'm talking about doing anything. Stop trying to. I get everybody wants to hit the ball for power, but I think we gotta go a different approach.
Tennessee's they're not a power hitting team this year. Like it's not the same team. No. So yeah, I do feel like there's guys that can obviously hit for power, but like we need to get base runners. We need to get people on base. So like whoever is getting on base the most, those are the bats that need to be in the lineup. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I know like Stone is hurt right now, so that there is another kind of wrinkle to this lineup. Like what happens with that? Who is your catcher going forward? Obviously Levi's going to be part of that, but I would expect Garrett Wright to probably be in that. So like that opens up center field a little bit. So second base is still something going on. Who's going to be your DH? Like there's so much kind of like to that. Like kind of, I don't know, like where does Trent Grinlinger fit into this? I'm not sure. I think he's probably your DH moving forward, and you figure the rest of the lineup out. But the man's batting 480. And I know it's limited opportunities, but every time he gets in on the weekends, he's hitting the ball and driving runs in. So I don't know what else he needs to prove to somebody told me, like, yeah, he might not just be as like good as you think he is. I don't care how good I think he is. He's batting 480. Like, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he did go 3 for 5 against Vandy on Sunday, I believe. Mm-hmm. It seems like I think Levi's going to catch. Grinlinger will DH because you have to put it. I'm starting to get on your little wagon there with him. I think you have to put him in the lineup.
I got room.
You got to look for production,
yeah.
And obviously you got to keep Garrett Wright in there as well. So I think you just keep him where he's at, and then DH Grinlinger on Friday. Saturday you flip him and Levi, just flip them, let Grinlinger catch, and then on Sunday flip it back.
Okay, you think Grinlinger catches?
Well, yeah, you can't. I mean, normally they don't. When you have a plethora of catchers, just use them. Don't try to have one guy catch all 3 games for no reason.
Okay, that's interesting because I thought Garrett Wright might be your second, or he might be your first, and have Levi split. I don't know what you do. I mean, Levi's definitely hitting better when he catches, so I'm all for Levi doing 2 out of 3.
Or would you? So if you do that, so if you put, there is a way you could do that. If Levi catches and you keep Grinlinger Wright in the lineup, and I just had it in my head, and yes, one of them can DH, but if they don't DH. Oh, wait. Sorry. Garrett Wright is catcher.
Yeah.
Garrett Wright is catcher. You could put, without DH in Grinlinger or Levi, you could put Grinlinger or Levi at first, and then you can just put him over at second base. You can just lock that side of the field. Which isn't Grinlinger he's a catcher.
Yeah.
And you can't.
I'm thinking he either catches or plays DH. I think he stays as your DH, and you go Levi will be at first base if he's not catching. If he is catching, I think Grimmer goes to first.
Sorry. I just thought of it. You put Grinlinger in left. Move Blaine to center.
Or do you move Reese to center?
Or Reese. Either way, you can do that, but put Grinlinger in left.
Mm-hmm.
Grimmer second, Levi first, Garrett behind the plate. That's the one I was thinking of, but I couldn't even get out.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that.
If he catches, of course.
Yeah, I think Jay is probably going to get some opportunities. If Garrett Wright is catching, like, he's probably going to be somebody that you want to see get some opportunities this week or this weekend, like in center. You need to get
DH Grim. Well,
you need to get them. You need to get him going.
You can DH Brown.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of options, and Tyler Myatt's another guy that you want to get in the lineup. There's a lot of bats. The problem is there's a lot of catchers, and one can play center, one can play first base. Don't know what the other one does. So yeah, there's just bats in the lineup. The problem is, like, Grinlinger might not have another like position. Again, he's batting 480. Like,
I'm in there.
Yeah, what are we doing? And I also think Garrett Wright is your leadoff batter going forward.
Thanks.
He's got to be.
Yeah, he has to be.
I mean, I think he's our best player.
Yeah.
Most productive player, I guess. Best player is probably Henry Ford. But yeah.
To this point, he has been the best overall player.
Yeah. On base percentage is really good, 440.
Yeah. What's his average? 300?
333.
There you go.
Yep.
1 for 3 every time.
Yep. Get him on. Another guy that, like, I don't think we talk about enough, and that's on me, but he's just like super consistent this season. I think Reese Chapman has had a really good season for Tennessee.
It's just a veteran. He's
Yeah.
been through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he started in Omaha before. I mean, he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
22, 23. So yeah, he's been through a lot. He knows what it takes to get there, and I like seeing him this week go the opposite way. Loved how he went the opposite way and not just pull everything, because Vanny shifted him pretty hard to the right side.
Yeah.
I love the way he was letting the ball travel and going the other way with it.
Blaine Brown did it too. It was like, hey, like there is this part of the field too, and a lot of teams are shifting you so bad that hey, you just have to poke it over there and you can run for days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like that. I think that was a big development for Blake Burke.
Mm-hmm.
When he realized, like, hey, like they just keep shifting over here, I'm just going to smack it over to the third base side. Like, I mean, he was a doubles machine after that. He's like, I don't have to hit for power. I can just hit it over here and just walk to second base, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I really like that development of some of those hitters that they were able to do this weekend. It's just got to be more consistent. Like they need the bottom of the lineup to show up, and when the bottom of the lineup shows up, it feels like the top of the lineup doesn't show up. Like there's just no complimentary baseball with this team right now. I mean, we talked about it this weekend where it was, hey, the pitching pitched good enough to win. You just didn't produce any runs. And then on Sunday, you produce all the runs and your pitching blows it for you. So, I mean, they just got to figure out how to play a complete game. And to this point, there's not a ton of confidence that they can do it. But, I mean, this team doesn't lack for talent. There is talent on this baseball team. Somebody was just telling me, like, they're super young. And it doesn't feel like it because there's Reese and Henry Ford. But, I mean, all these guys are newcomers. Even though they've been in the program for a couple of years, like Blake Grimmer, this is his first time like playing every day. Stone Lawless, same thing. Manny Marin has a new role in this team. Levi Clark, like those guys like played a lot of baseball last year, but this is a different role than what they had. They were just, hey, if you get a hit, cool. Now it's like, hey, we need you to get a hit because you're up there at the top of the lineup when we need you to produce. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or what it is, but it just isn't clicking at the plate like you would think it should.
For sure. I think going back to the young statement, we're young in SEC experience.
Mm-hmm.
We're not young as a team. We're just young in SEC experience. Like if you go up and down the rosters and look at our SEC stats, they're very low. Not like average, but like games played like are very low besides Reese. Like Ford, it's still his first SEC, but he's played ACC for 3 years already. So, you know, he's a veteran, but we are young from the SEC side of things. And I think you've seen that a little bit earlier. Maybe we're putting too much stock into SEC teams and thinking they're, you know, all this and that, when it's the same as a midweek, the same game.
Yeah.
A different opponent. It's the same exact game. The rules don't change from Tuesday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Same game. But I think that's what we're going through right now. A little like
just playing a little tight.
And I think we still have the target on our back, but I'm not too sure. I think last week was just, you know, a common Vandy Tennessee deal. You know, that's our rivalry. So anytime you get that, it's gonna be close, no matter how good the teams are, how bad the teams are. It doesn't matter. But I think there's maybe the little target still on our back, but it doesn't feel like the target's on our back anymore. I don't know. We'll see this weekend the way LSU plays. And I know I said earlier we got to win one. I think this is a must-win series because we can't be sitting here at 4-8 or, by golly, 3-9. We'll be in some trouble. But again, not hitting the panic button yet because we were 5-10 and 23. So, you can't hit it yet until past halfway. Okay, if we're 5-12 or something, yeah, let's go ahead and hit that panic button because we got to get rolling by that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't know if you notice this, but like, and maybe it's just because like you're not winning a ton and you're not hitting all the home runs. Like there just needs to be some more juice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. Like I'm not asking like Andrew Fisher or somebody to step out of the box and pump up the crowd. I just like that's what that program has been since Tony Vitello. Like there's been kind of an edge to them. And maybe it's like you have so many newcomers where they're like, I wasn't even here when we won a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like, you mentioned that target on your back. I mean, half these players weren't here. Like they don't know what that target is. So that's why I think like there is a ton of inexperience, but there just needs to be some more juice with this team. There needs to be some emotion. I thought some, like I like some of the players that I think Bo Rudy has some of that juice when he gets a strikeout. He has a little bit of something to say, like, "Hey, that's okay." Like professionals do it,
but keep it professional. The thing that I know you didn't mean to cut you off, but I know you say you want to see some fire, you want to see some emotion, but I don't want to be the case. Like if we're ahead, we're fiery this, fiery that. All up here, but when we're losing, we're down here. Yeah. If we keep that thing even keel, that's where you can be dangerous. Like the energy's still there, even if you're down 3. The energy's still there, even if you're down 4. That's what I know what you're trying to say, but that's what you're really saying. You're not being up 4. Yeah, you can be fiery all you want, emotional all you want, but being down 4 is, now you're in the trenches. Now you're with your brothers. To the left and right of you. Now you find out who your friends are, in all honesty. But that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was that like when Tennessee is down 3 runs, let's say 3 runs, it feels like they're down a lot more than 3 runs right now. Whereas like past teams, and I hate like comparing past teams, but like you're at Tennessee, you're gonna get compared to those past teams. It's just reality, so get used to it. Like those teams didn't like care they were down. It's like, hey, that's a walk, a single, and a home run. That's it. That's all we got to do, and we're right back in this thing. It just feels like everything is just like more difficult to produce runs at this point because the home runs aren't coming in bunches. You're striking out a whole lot. Like anytime Tennessee needs to get something going, it feels like there's a big strikeout that happens. We get runner on third and second with nobody out, strikeout. Like that's just tough, man. Like it's just kind of tough to come back from when you squander all those opportunities, and then you're trying to like stay afloat in the SEC. Like I just feel like there's a ton of expectations with this team, and right now, it just feels like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. So I do like how the staff is kind of changing things up a little bit. They're changing the rotation. I don't know if this does anything. Maybe you have something else to like add to this, but having Elander go to the dugout, hey, let's try it and see if it adds some confidence to these hitters, having your guy right behind you. I mean, Tony was really good at that. I sat right next to the dugout. I mean, he would throw. He was coaching that entire time like a guy was in the box. And I don't know if it was more of just like, hey, I know this guy like right here has my back, and that gives you some confidence. Like I'm not striking out. Like I'm here to compete. And I don't know. What do you think about Elander moving to the dugout? Do you think it's just overblown and it doesn't matter, or is it? Do you think there might be something to that?
Part of me thinks that one, you gotta find a different way to win. You gotta find any way to salvage something. 2, I know you compare it to V and E are a little bit different.
Sure.
V's very different. V's a little bit more outspoken. Yeah. You see the emotion. V's kind of internal, but he's a silent assassin in my eyes. But I think as a player, I think it does change things when your head coach is right there, because usually at third base, kind of on your own. You're on an island, just all by yourself, just giving signs. Can't really do anything much.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, he's been doing that for years, so that's what he's comfortable with. I didn't mind giving signs from the dugout. I didn't mind that because he can run through signs. I never got the hitting signs in all 4 years there. I never could understand.
We tried to lobby for you to get in the lineup your senior year, but they never did.
Oh, I tried it during the midweek, but I couldn't. That didn't work. But I don't think it should be blown out of proportion. I don't think it's being blown out of proportion. I think it's just noticed. Obviously, it's noticeable when a head coach does that. Again, going back to Vandy, I think people forget that Coach Corbin actually did this too. He went to the dugout. I don't remember what year. It might have been 23 or 24. No, it was 23. He went to the dugout. So, and trust me, that guy's been at third base ever since he's been coaching. Mm-hmm. And now he's back there again. But, I mean, obviously you don't know what goes on behind closed doors anyway. So, trust me, this isn't the first time that a head coach has done this. But it does help when the coach is in there. But at the end of the day, the players are the ones producing. He's the one coaching, so he can give you all the insight he wants. But when who's at the plate? He's not at the plate.
Yeah.
So it still comes back to the players. I think it's just like, it is what it is.
Just trying something different.
Trying something.
Okay. Yeah, and I kind of thought that way too. But like you said earlier, it only takes one. So like if it gets the confidence going in a Levi Clark or Chris Newstrom or Jay Abernathy, like, hey, that was worth it. If we got one of those guys going from doing that one little thing, it was worth it. So
now one more thing to add, like he could give like a teeny bit more knowledge before a hitter goes up that he couldn't do at third base.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
That little could change a lot.
A little bit more scouting or just like words of encouragement sounds so like corporate or whatever. But I do think,
patterns.
Yeah, I do think it matters. Like, I mean, I feel like these kids have taken a beating the last couple weekends. Like, they need all the words of encouragement they can get right now to get some confidence back. Because, I mean, after last weekend, I would have no confidence.
Yeah, and I didn't really appreciate the. I know I don't really talk about like social media, but seeing the things on Twitter were kind of outrageous. So where it got to the point where KT, Simo, and Drew Beam are in the replies,
mm-hmm.
I understand. Like, I get it. We won a national championship 2 years ago. Understand it completely. I understand you guys want more, but college baseball is so year to year. I mean, we were lucky enough last year to make it to a super regional. What did Mississippi State do after they won a natty? What was the next year?
Didn't make it.
What was Ole Miss the next year after they won it?
Didn't make it.
So let's pump the brakes. Everything's all right. And V in his first year, it's kind of okay. I know people want to like compare that, but going from Serrano to V and the way people got on board with V so quick, like people were happy with V's first year. Like they were very happy with it
mm-hmm. because
they haven't experienced that in such a long time since by that point, 2005. So that's almost, 13 years. I think he got there in 18, right? Or 7.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 18.
So that's like 13 years of not having, a regional. So it's kind of hard to, compare the two because now E's coming after V and people are so used to V. But when V came after Serrano, everybody was used to Serrano and V was, So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to compare. You should never compare those two because, to be honest, they were on the same staff together. So, V sees E. The reason he was an associate head coach is so he wouldn't get picked up by anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, South Carolina. Like, that was the reason he was an associate head coach. That's why he got promoted to that position.
Yeah.
So he didn't go anywhere else because, trust me, any other SEC school, when those jobs were open, if he wasn't an associate head coach, he would have been picked up right there, right then and there.
Yeah.
So this is the guy that I know the players vouch for, even myself, but it's because we know E, we know how he runs things. Everybody just pump the brakes. It'll be okay.
Well, I think it's a very tough job for Josh Elander because, like you mentioned, there is expectations on this program now that when Tony Vitello started, there wasn't any expectations. That team was bad. There was no one in the stadium. And now you just built this brand new stadium and have all these people there, and you're expected to win every game. And I mean, it's just a lot. And you replaced 8 out of your 9 players in the field like that. I mean, it was tough. It was going to be tough to begin with, even if Tony Vitello was here. Does he make a difference? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, he's the one that built this roster too.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't amounted to wins. But there's a ton of talent. It's not like you didn't recruit good enough. You weren't good enough in the portal. That's not true. Tennessee had one of the best portal classes, one of the best recruiting classes.
I will say, and I keep like saying this over and over. Tennessee right now, this roster is the most talented roster they've ever had. And I'm not saying like, well, look at Garrett Crochet, look at all these guys that came out of Tennessee. It's not what I'm saying. Look at their rankings. Look at everything before they got here.
Yeah.
They're so much more talented than we ever were in 24,
mm-hmm.
in 23, 22, 21. The COVID team, 19, 18. They're more talented than this is the most talented team in Tennessee history. Hands down. Has to be. And I don't like the comparison of like this is V's roster. He built this roster. E does just as much as recruiting as V did.
Oh yeah.
So E and V built this roster together. Like there is no V's roster. This is V and E's roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying like E to throw him under the bus. No, because he recruits at a high level and he knows how to get talent into the building. So this is V and E's roster, hands down. So I don't like the comparison of like V's roster and stuff like that. This is V's and E's roster. E recruited me, recruited us in 24, 23. He's recruited everybody that has gotten here.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't like the saying like it's V this, V that. Yes, V does some part. Hell, they do. They work hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it's V's roster just as much ease.
Well, you see the flashes. Like this team has talent. Like you can see that. I mean, Henry Ford was wanted by everybody. Levi Clark, Tegan Coons, Trent Grinlinger, like Blaine Brown, like all those guys could have went probably anywhere in the country. They chose Tennessee. Like when those guys committed, when those guys got on campus, like that was celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge win. It just hasn't produced. And like you can't go out there and make a guy hit 300. I mean, Levi Clark and Manny Marin and Jay Abernathy, Chris Newstrom, those freshmen, they're like, okay, these freshmen are pretty good. I can't wait till next year because they're going to take a huge step. They haven't taken a huge step. And that's been the biggest issue with this team. The guys that you thought that was going to take a step has not amount to much. And that's why where you're at is because like the guys that you relied on thought that those talented players, they just haven't, hit up to expectations. And I know like you talked about the sophomore slump, like it just feels like this team is just stuck in a sophomore slump and just can't get out of their own way. Like there's times where
if you think about it, it's 2 years after the Natty. So It would be technically a sophomore year after the Natty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just hasn't been put together.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's no doubt that there's talent on this baseball team. It's just they got to be more consistent, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's lacking. There's sometimes where we can't play catch in an inning. There's times where we walk the bases loaded. There's times where we strike out with the bases loaded and no outs. Like we like to do that. So I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that just like it isn't good baseball, and I guess we're not really used to it because we have been so spoiled the last couple of years.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't like. You say you don't want to be like you don't like comparing teams, but to be honest, you're going to be compared to every team, no matter.
And do you not kind of want that? Like that 2024 team was really good. Do you not want to be compared to them a little bit? I feel like you would.
Yes, but we were always compared to the 22 team.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we won it, it's like, who would win, 24 or 22. So even when we won it, we were still compared. The next time Tennessee wins a national championship, hopefully, they're going to be like compared to the 24 team. Who would win? So it's always going to be a cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, just I mean, big weekend this weekend. Again, LSU is 20-10 on the season. They're coming off, I think they lost to Oklahoma, lost to Vanderbilt, and then they beat Kentucky this past weekend. So kind of right there with Tennessee. Like that, they need a series win in the worst way possible too, especially on the road. So I know these teams, like a lot of new faces on both sides, but I know those coaches kind of going after it. Like this has been kind of a rivalry the last couple of years. Obviously they've won it. They won it in 23. We won it in 24. They won it in 25. It'd be cool if we won it in 26, but this has been like the top two teams in college baseball for the last couple of years. Obviously, it hasn't turned out great this past season, but definitely a huge opportunity to get back on the right track by beating LSU at home.
Yeah, I don't want to put pressure on the guys, but this is a must-win. This is a must-win series.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I think the direction that we're heading is right now as we stand is not very good.
Yeah.
So we need do anything. I don't care if it's a bunt, double steal, hit and run, or bunt and run. Sorry, I don't care. Guy on first and second, double steal, lay that bunt down to third. You might be safe. All of a sudden, bases loaded.
There you go. What's one thing you want to see this weekend? I'm not going to do an MVP. I think the MVP is irrelevant from last weekend. So what's one thing you want to see in this series?
I want to see Blaine Brown get going. Sunday was a great game. But I want him to carry that over. I don't want a sluggish Friday, sluggish Saturday to then a Sunday. I think he found something, and I think he's going to continue to roll, and I'd like him to see him roll.
Okay. I'm going to go whoever's in the leadoff spot, be productive. Not a ton of strikeouts. I think having your leadoff guy go 0 for 4 with three strikeouts, like that's just a tough day.
What is your for the people at home, what is your example of productive? Like what are you?
I would say like let's go 1 for 3 with a walk. I think that's productive. You're on base about 400% or 400. Yeah, not 400%. That'd be a lot. I think that would be productive. I would like to see a guy let's go 2 for 4 in a walk. That would be sick. Or a hit by pitch if it's Garrett Wright. Just get on base. I'm not asking for a lot. Just get on base. If Trent Greenlinger is going to bat 480, put his ass up on leadoff. Yeah, put him in the 2-hole. Do something. But yeah, I just want to see more production from that leadoff spot, whoever that is.
Yeah. What would be great is if we had a shutdown inning by Landon Mack in the first, and we just come out firing in the bottom of the first.
All right, start fast. I like that.
Start fast, but finish.
Yes.
Because sometimes, yes, it's good to get out to those leads, but got to be able
a great one. Protect the lead. All right, give me somebody to let's have a breakout weekend. Who we got? You kind of already said it, I guess.
I guess Blaine, but I don't. Whoever is the DH game 2. Whoever's the DH game 2.
Okay. All right.
A specific name. Just when you see that lineup come out, whoever it is, that's my guy.
I'm gonna go Reese. I'm gonna go him with him being a vet. This is a rivalry game as well, or it's become one over the last couple of years. He's a guy that's played in it a ton. So I'm gonna go Reese Chapman has a big weekend and we get the series dub.
Wow, this guy's going Reese Chapman again.
Oh, did I go Reese last week?
You went Reese the week before.
Okay.
But hey, stick with it.
Who did I have?
Braden Arvinson. Remember, we did Tegan Coons and Braden.
Okay.
Arvinson.
I feel like that's a win. We did.
I feel like we both won that.
Yeah. We got.
They did enough to win.
Okay.
So you got 3 on the year. I got 2.
Okay. We're rolling. All right. Anything else that you want to add before we get out of here?
Prayers to Stone Lawless. Speedy recovery there. Obviously, not what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad. I mean, not necessarily bad that Wheels highlights didn't even show the hit by pitch. So obviously I just missed it, but probably didn't want to see it anyway. But
you checked on him at all?
Not yet, but I should.
Okay.
Giving some time a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I heard he's like coherent and like that's great. Obviously some fractured nose and face. I think there was something going on with the eye, but apparently he can see. So that's great to hear. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery. I mean, just a freak accident in baseball.
Yeah, you never want to see that.
Yeah.
On your worst enemy either.
Yep. All right. Congratulations to you, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, man. When what's the schedule look like? Or what are you the Wild Things?
Yeah, the Wild Things. Yeah, Rick Vaughn.
I mean that's so you. It's not even funny.
Yeah, Rick Vaughn gave me the call.
So when do you start?
May 7th is our opener, so we got another month.
Okay, cool, awesome. Anybody else that you know that's in that? You know anybody?
Former teammates, but not any former balls.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to the listeners out there. Episode 7.
It changed, by the way.
Yeah, we got it changed. Yeah, we got it changed. Caleb came in clutch there. So, yeah, thank y'all so much for listening to this. And we'll be back next week, hopefully talking about that win over LSU. Go Vols. And thank y'all again. Forget I always got to hit the button.
Home run, slam dunks, give him 6. Boys at MII, they got your big orange face. All year long is the place to be, to hear some balls for life, talking Tennessee. And hey, let's see if you